Thank you very much. It's absolutely great to be here. Thanks for having me. As they said in the intro there, my name is Robert Perrons. I'm an Associate Professor at QUT, and I'm also the acting PwC Chair in Digital Economy. And we're having a bit of a birthday up the hill. I just want to tell you a little bit about that. Today is the official launch date for the chair. So we're very excited about this new development. And it's great to have a room full of people who are as excited about digital economy types of things as we are. But I want to point out something I thought was a bit interesting when it occurred to me. As excited as we all are by this digital economy thing, it is almost certainly true that 20 years ago, this discussion didn't happen. The topic didn't exist. 10 years ago, it's probably true that it mostly didn't happen, but definitely 20 years ago, it absolutely wasn't on any of our radar screens. And what that tells me is that something is afoot here. Changes are happening. They're coming at us fast and in a way that is profound and clearly deserves a lot of our attention. And so it kind of begs the question, how did we get to this place? I'd like to draw your attention for a second to that crazy little ritual most of us do before we sit down for lunches like this and venues like this, where you kind of pull a device like that one out of your pocket, or maybe it's out of your purse, or maybe you've got an iPad or something, and you turn down the ringer volume, or maybe you put it in flight mode or whatever you do, but you do something to kind of just suppress the noise. But here's what's different, what we do with that ritual now versus what happened 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you turn that thing off, that's it. You were checked out. You were officially not participating in anything vaguely digital at that point. And the data just stopped. What happens now is that even though you might turn the ringer off, the data never stops moving. There's data inbound to you. There's data outbound from you, even while we're sitting here enjoying our lunch. There's data swirling around you, about you, even without you being consciously a part of it. You've been leaving little data litter trails all over the place in the form of what you buy, what you like, geospatial data about where you're going, and all of this stuff. And it's absolutely changing everything. There are a few technologies. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I kind of will give you just the highlight reel here. There's a few technologies that have contributed in a very meaningful way to this. First of all, the internet grew up. Let's be honest, if we think back to the internet 20 years ago, pretty much the coolest thing we could expect to get out of the internet back then was a funny movie of a cat that could play the piano. But it's matured. It has become reliable, and the security is there, and we've improved our ability to kind of go rifling through that haystack looking for the needle. We've improved the searchability of the thing. So we're getting much, much more functionality and usability out of the internet than we could before. Indeed, I don't think it would be a stretch to say that we can treat it like a utility now, much like we do water and electricity. Also contributing to this is this precipitous drop in the price of data storage. Literally, the marginal cost of recording digital information these days is flirting with zero. And it begs the question then, why would you ever throw any digital information away ever again when it costs you literally almost nothing to hang on to it? And an interesting consequence of this statistic is the fact that the doubling time, that is the amount of time it takes us to double the amount of digital information that is out there, and I'm including in that bucket video, audio, scientific data, text, whatever. All of the data that's out there, the time it takes for it to double is now somewhere between 2 and 3 years. And let's talk about the dramatic increase in the availability of computing power. Now, I'm an engineer by training, and so I get really excited when propeller head guys like me look at things like this. This behind me is a figure that is known in engineering circles as Moore's Law. And Gordon Moore from Intel, a long time ago, made the casual observation that the density of transistors that we could shoehorn into an integrated circuit, that density was doubling approximately every 18 months. And that trend has continued unabated since the 1970s. Now, that might not really resonate, so check this out. You might remember from 20 years ago that they used to use something called Cray supercomputers for really cutting-edge physics and mathematics and figuring out pi to so many squintillion decimal places. But, so that, those Cray supercomputers had in them about 3 billion transistors, give or take. That is approximately the number of transistors that are present in your iPad today. Breakthroughs in mathematics. There was a time when we needed data to be clean, crisp, orderly, not a lot of holes, not too many blemishes. We needed the data to kind of step up so that we could make proper analysis of it. Well, our clever friends in the mathematics departments have been working really hard on this stuff. And what we can get away with now is we can throw at these problems gooey gobs of rough, incomplete data. We can pull together data sets that were completely disparate and never designed to actually be put side by side. And by kind of rummaging through those disparate data sets, we are discovering amazing trends and relationships that are surprising us and that we never expected to find. And how about that cloud computing? You used to be confined to whatever computing capacity you had in your pocket or in the computer in front of you. And now this changes everything on that one, because basically all you need is a portal to out there, and you can access all of that computing power that is out there. In fact, you don't even have to buy it on a long-term basis. You can just rent it in an a la carte fashion. And it's not just about the technology in and of itself. We're seeing social kinds of adjustments in our society. The emergence of digital natives. Some people, especially the young folks, and I think that with a hairline like this, it's time to let go. I'm probably not in that group. But those folks seem to have an intuitive grasp of these technologies in a way that their predecessors did not. So we're seeing that trend also unfolding. So here's what's interesting about this to me. One at a time, each of those technological changes that I was just talking about, they're kind of impressive. But the coming together, the confluence of all those changes, that is bringing about a kind and type of magic that I don't think any of us anticipated. None of us saw this coming. And the biggest change in one word is connectivity. We're seeing a profound change in how people connect to other people. We're seeing a change in how businesses connect to their customers, how businesses connect to other businesses, and how governments can connect to their citizens. I think it would be almost impossible to oversell the scope and scale of the changes that are happening right now. Now, as daunting and a little bit scary as that sounds, however, the other side of this coin is that with all these changes comes an enormous amount of opportunity. And this, in a nutshell, is why this has given rise to the PwC Chair in Digital Economy. This was such an ambitious undertaking with so many facets to it that we thought that this was not a one organization job, this was a 4-organization job. So we've brought together the collective resources and people of QUT, PwC, Brisbane, and the Queensland State Government. Broadly speaking, here's what we're trying to achieve with that chair. It's not going to be just about academia. Of course, we are trying to push the vanguard of knowledge and create new knowledge out there. But it also has a very strong pragmatic component that cuts right through the middle of it. This is going to be very industry relevant stuff, while also be academically exciting. And there's also going to be a strong teaching component to it, because we're trying to cultivate the digital minds of tomorrow. We are very excited about the launch of the PwC Chair in Digital Economy. It would be our pleasure to hear from you and to connect with like-minded folks who are in this room right now. And please feel free to reach out to us via any of these avenues that you see on the screen here.